Hey everybody, this is Bill with the Charles County Public Library, and welcome back to another screenwriting tip. Today I'd like to talk more about characters. There are four categories of primary characters you want to focus on in your screenplay. Let's dive into them. The first, of course, is the hero. The hero is the main character of your story. They also are the primary object of identification for the reader if you've done your job correctly. The hero should have most of the screen time. Most importantly, the outer motivation of the hero drives the plot forward. This is essential. The hero must possess some outer motivation and conflict. For example, Rocky's outer motivation is to go the distance of 10 rounds in a fight with the world champion boxer Apollo Creed. This is a goal we can see. His outer motivation is that Apollo will fight back. Inner motivation and conflict aren't absolutely necessary, but it does help create more character depth. We'll talk more about this in a later video. The second character is the Nemesis. This is the character who most stands in the way of the hero achieving their outer motivation. It could be a villain like Cruella de Vil, the Terminator, Thanos, or he whose name must not be mentioned. A villain intends harm upon others. But a nemesis doesn't necessarily have to be a villain. Just because they stand in the way of the hero doesn't make them a bad guy. Apollo Creed is the nemesis for Rocky, but he isn't a villain. They even become friends in later films. Another example is Samuel Gerard in The Fugitive, who isn't a bad person, but wants to stop Dr. Kimball, our hero who was on the run after being framed for murder. This kind of nemesis is more of an antagonist. There's an old saying that goes, good villains make good movies. We'll talk more down the road about creating villains. One final note on the nemesis. You don't have to introduce your nemesis right away. In many mysteries, your villain isn't revealed until the end of the story. However, it is essential that the hero and villain must confront one another by the third act. Imagine if Luke and Darth Vader ignite their lightsabers and charge each other, but then suddenly cut to Han and Chewie at the bar later, talking about a great battle that had just occurred. The audience would go nuts. They deserve the payoff of a good confrontation. The third category is the reflection character. This is the character who supports the hero's outer motivation, at least at the beginning of the story. This could be a friend, coworker, sidekick, spouse, mate, lover, or any other character who would support the main character's objective. There are two purposes to the reflection character. First, they add credibility to the plot if your hero has help in overcoming the outer conflicts facing them. Secondly, they also give the hero somebody to talk to reveal background, inner motivation, inner conflict, theme, or even to add anticipation, like in those scenes when the hero says, okay, here's the plan. The final category of characters is the romance character. This is the character who is the romantic object of at least part of the hero's outer motivation. For example, in Titanic, Jack's outer motivation is to win the heart of Rose. She becomes his romance character, just like Noah and Allie in The Notebook. Sometimes a character can start out as a reflection character and then become a romance along the way. In The Sure Thing, John Cusack's character Gib drives across the country for a fling with a beautiful woman, only to realize that his traveling companion Daphne eventually becomes the object of his affection. Not every story needs a romance character, but it's good to have this character in mind if you plan to add a love story somewhere in the mix. There are no absolute rules in any one story, but hopefully these guidelines will help you populate your character with rich, meaningful characters who create wonderful conflicts that bring about a rewarding conclusion. That's all for this time. Don't forget, if you're interested in filmmaking, the Charles County Public Library has a film club that meets each month at the Waldorf West Branch. Check out our website for more details. Until next time, this is Bill. Keep writing.